to a new Plugin Guru video. My name is John Skippy Limcool, and this is the third and final video supporting Rotten Razer. Rotten Razer is the library of patches I've made for an ensemble that's available for Reaktor called Razer. And I'm going to be showing you details on how to load SSF files, how to make your own SSF files, the very basic walking steps of Razer. I get enough tech support questions. I decided I'm going to make a video to try to answer all the questions that I always get emailed. And then I have a couple surprises for you, like Ultra Loop and a couple other ensembles that you need to know about that are just crazy, crazy cool. All right, so stick around. Before we get started, this video and all the videos on this website are sponsored by my website, pluginguru.com. Here's all my patch libraries that I have for sale. Keeps growing. Such a good thing. Love it. I have a Facebook page, and I ask questions. I share sales that I know about that are going on. Talk about new products that just come out. All sorts of things here. So please join the Facebook Plugin Guru page. It will be a good thing. Okay. So we're starting from the very basics of loading Razer into Reaktor. Now, if you're using the Reaktor player, a lot of what I'm going to show you won't work. It's not effective and it's not pertinent because the player is preset and you call up the sounds and you can play with them, but you can't modify like we're going to be modifying. So just enjoy the information, knowing that information, okay? So, okay, so once you've got Razer, the next thing you need to do is you've downloaded the library that you've bought, either Evil Razer or Rotten Razer. And inside there's a folder called the Plugin Guru Rotten Razer. Inside here are all the patches. So this will go, let's go over here to Documents, to Native Instruments. Now there should be a Reaktor 5 folder inside of Native Instruments, and inside of there should be a library folder. If there's not, then you have problems. So if there's not one, then what you do is go back to Reaktor, right here to File, to Preferences, to User Content, and navigate to your personal, your home, to Documents, Native Instruments, Reaktor, and right here's where the library should be. You should say Choose. And that way when you close, it will say this: the specific user content does not have all the necessary subfolders. If you proceed now, the missing subfolders will be created. Cancel. Now in this case, I'm actually going to go in and make sure that I'm inside of the library and choose that. And now when I close, it's happy because it found everything. But when I said just library at the top level, it's missing all those necessary folders for ensembles, for presets, all that stuff. All right, so we're at library. Go in here to presets, and right here is where you're going to put the Rotten Razer patches or the Evil Razer patches folders. And that way, inside are all the little separate NRKT. That's the 4-letter acronym given to Reaktor patches. So once they're there, then that means you can go to User, and this will probably be closed and look like this. So you open up User, go scrolling down here to Presets, and there they are. So if you click Rotten Razer, now you can go and they're all there in all their beautiful glory and ready to go. All right. Now, there's a place you can make them show up that gets it even easier to use. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Then I'm going to show you how to build an SSF file as it's known. If we go back here to this folder, not only are there the patches here, but down here is something called the Rotten Razer snapshot file. And there it is. 7.1 megabytes. Inside of this are all 115 patches organized, ready to go in a snapshot file. And in order to access that, what you have to do is go to Reaktor. This button, it didn't exist before the last update, but this latest update or two, they added this. You click this to go into an edit mode. All sorts of things don't show up until you click that button. So now when you go to snapshots, you do have the new bank, save bank, load bank. You have access to changing things. I've had a number of customers email me asking about DSP usage because Razer eats up a lot of computer cycles. If you want, you can double click where it says voices, go over here to function, and here's your voices. So you could set this to be 4 voices, and that caps it so it won't play any more than 4 notes of polyphony. And now it won't take as much computer cycles, and you will probably not hit the limit that causes crazy spikes. Now, if you want, you can also set it the other direction, like say 16, the CPU. And when it runs out of polyphony, it stops playing notes. Not good. So if you set it at 6, where it's supposed to be capped, then all right, and we're back. So this sounded totally different. Just be aware when you're editing and popping up polyphony count and so forth, you might break the model. It's not the most stable software in the world from what I can tell. It has its moments where it's tricked me and foiled me. So be careful. Now, what we want to do is fairly simple. So if you hit the edit button, so that this goes white, you can go over to the snapshots and make sure that you've selected ensemble-Razer ensemble, not just Razer, because this tells us what the current ensemble is. And you want to make sure you're at that level. And then you go new bank, and a new bank shows up. And let's rename this Rotten Razer, right? So when we click, there it is. It shows up in the list. Now we have to do is go in and fill up the bank. So we go load bank. So we want to go to the Rotten Razer folder, open up the snapshot file, and select this. And just like that, it'll take a second. And when it's done, it loaded them. So now I can turn off edit, and I can go over here, and I don't have to look here anymore. I could actually make that go away, because when I click right here, Plugin Guru Rotten Razer is there. And I can use the plus buttons and load them that way. Now let's keep going. Let's say that we have both banks. So we want to also have Evil Razer. So let's go over here and we say new bank. And let's go over here and say load bank. And I go to Plugin Guru Evil Razer. Choose the Evil Razer snapshot file. Load that. Boom. And it names it properly, Plugin Guru Evil Razer. So now we can go here, can turn this off, turn off the magnifying glass, and now both libraries are available. If I go over here. They're all here. So at this point, now is when you go over here and you go File, Save Ensemble As, and let's call it the Razer Guru. And we want to save this to Documents. Let's go to Library, to Ensembles. And see, I got Razer right here. Let's go save. It'll take it a minute. And it's done. So now when I go over here to the player, I choose Razer, I have the Razer player here. I want to have it so that I have it so that there's both. Where is it looking? This is a little confusing because when I installed everything, I had it install and think that there's a user shared folder. All the native instrument stuff I stored onto a separate hard drive. This makes sense now, I understand. It took me a minute to find it. My clue to find it was that earlier I had named the documentation folder Z Razer, and so I was able to search by that name. By the way, if you're in OS X land, a wonderful application to download is called Find Any File, because I hate the spotlight searching. It's useless, it doesn't work. Find Any File allows you to say what hard drive you want to search. I've got 4 different hard drives, or all of them. So I could say to sample tank and say ZRAZOR, and it found it, boom, like that. So I could find out where it was at. So that was my breadcrumb clue to help me out. So I want to go to Applications, Native Instruments. I'm moving I'll explain what I'm doing. I have no idea how I'm going to end up making this into the video. But I'm going to take these guys, Razer, here we go. So I'm going to copy Razer Guru Ensemble over here from where I saved it. And by doing that now, when I go to Razer, I now have both of them available. So I could choose to load just Razer, and this doesn't give me those two banks of patches. Or I could choose Razer Guru, and by doing this, it will load up. And not only the factory patches, but now I have Rotten Razer and Evil Razer. So you want to save this custom-made ensemble that you make in the same place that the Razer ensemble that you've downloaded, that wherever you put that, it's in a user shared folder is usually where you will find it. Usually on your main hard drive. In my case, it's on my sample library hard drive because that's where I installed all the Native Instruments complete ensembles and contact libraries and everything like that. So you have to find that. Once you have them in the right folder, as you can see, they both show up. So if they don't show up when you have them both sitting side by side, then that's not the folder that that is not the folder that Reaktor is looking at. Okay, so we've now made an ensemble that has both libraries in it. Now, what if you want to make your own library from scratch? Let's go back to Razer and load this. Hit the edit button. Go to snapshots and make sure that you're still on ensemble Razer. Go over here and say new bank and say this is a live show. Let's say you're going to do a live show, right? This is London Live 2015 because that's when the tour is, or name it whatever you want, right? And I'm going to take Evil Razer and put it right here. And let's open up the patches. And as I'm going through the library, I'm gonna select, say, the patches that I liked. These 4, and I color coded them red. And I'd gone through Rotten Razer, and I'd color coded these patches. I'm just randomly selecting without even thinking what these patches are, right? And let's select those and make those red. So I have now the patches for 2 different libraries that are red that I want to load. So the easiest way to do the next step is to go over here and click tags so that it groups all the colors together. And I'm going to move this off screen because I have 2 screens. And then one at a time, just drag them up here. And when you go back to Razer, make sure that this stays at ensemble-Razer. Sometimes it will jump and be something else. So here's Bile. And at this point, you don't use this. You use down here. You use store. And once you click store, you click where you want to store it and then click store again. And that's in. So let's go to Evil Cauldron. And it's there. And if I go store, as you can see, it will even put it on top of the existing patch that was there. Just click again to move it where you want it to be and hit store. Wobble Punk. Store. To there. Illegal Air. Store. Store. Epic, right? Store. And you can move the order around. Uh-oh. I knew that was going to happen. Okay. So if it gets messed up, then go back to store and then Epic Bright. And go store. Careful, because if you think you're clicking once and sometimes it makes it like you're clicking twice. So, and then one of my favorite patches, Weight Obliterated. That's going to be stored right here. That's so loud. Let me turn that down. That's just so beautiful. Listen to that. Now let's go to Evil Razer. And once again, since we color coded a whole bunch of things, the fastest way to group those is to use tags. And now you can say blunt tubular, click and drag. Go back here. Now, this is where it's interesting. This is used to just seeing it as Razer. So you got to go back to the Razer ensemble. And there we go. And click where you want to store. Store. So when I click and do these, each one of these, I have a feeling it's going to keep changing this. Nope, it didn't. Okay. Store. Just watch right here, because if this says Razer, you want to change it back to the ensemble, because Razer is this thing inside of it. It's not the whole universe, I guess. I'm not totally clear on how this works, but I figured out enough to make the SSF file, right? So I'm sharing what I know. Okay, store that to here. Blinky. To there. And fulfilled. To right here. So we now have all the patches I need for when I play London in 2015. And so now I could go File, Save Ensemble As. Now, right now it's looking at the ensemble folder in the user area. But if I want this to show up on that list, then I know right now, I'm going to go over here to Users, to Shared, and then down here I will find a Razer folder. And that's where I want to save this. So Razer London 2015. Save. And that's using Save Ensemble As. And I now have saved this bank so that it's available to show up and load this way. If I go over here to the ensembles, go out and go back, now you can see that they're there. Now if I wanted to, I could also at this point, since I'm still in edit mode, select this bank and go Save Bank. And this allows me to save an SSF file so that I could send this to my friends somewhere else overseas or sell in a library like I'm doing, right? And save. And it will save that so that now if I really wanted to, let's take it to the next logical step. Let's load Razer Guru. And then we can go over here, hit edit. Go to the snapshots. And let's say one more bank, new bank. London 2015. Oh, London Live. I think it will rename it the name that I gave it when I load this. So I go load bank, because this is what's happening with the plugin Guru, Razer, and stuff. So if I go London and load, yes, it loaded London Live 2015. So now I have Rotten Razer, Evil Razer, and London. All my custom banks are all now showing up right here. So it's a good thing. It's cool to be able to know how to do this. This is just the basic stuff of getting around Reaktor, but it's complex enough that I thought making a video might help some of you out. Okay, I'm going to pause for a second, then I have a couple ensembles to show you. So hang on one second. I'm back. I had to set some things up. I want to give you guys just a couple cool ensembles to take a look at if you're wanting to get deeper into Reaktor. One that's just really cool because they're free. Although I suggest making a donation because this guy has made some really creative, really wonderful instruments that you're free to use. And if you use them, give him some money because he's a really nice guy. I've talked to him a couple of times. I've promoted him before. So it's at Bossomac, I think that's right, .free.fr. He has all of these ensembles, and you can take a click on these and take a listen. The Howler is really cool. The Chiller is he goes through and talks about everything. You can hear audio demos of everything. It's like really, really well designed for free ensembles, basically. But again, if you use them, please pay for them. So if you put them into your documents, Native Instruments, Reaktor 5, Library, Ensemble folder, then you can go over here to User, and right here in Ensembles, that's where I have them. Now, Air Piano is one that's wonderful. I'm going to turn up the reverb. I'll play it for a second. This is really beautiful ambient piano, very, very soft. I don't know where I got these samples, but it's like pianissimo piano, so it's got this. Howler is really fun. This is there's really cool effects, multi-tap delay. There's a retro beat, which is a really cool. I think I have to have all these different patterns, settings for the tuning. You know, you can pan things around. Really cool. So check those out. That's bossomac.free.fr. I remember. All right, the other company I want to show you is Twisted Tools. They have a number of really cool ensembles you can buy. Ultra Loop is the newest, but they also have all of these. And Slayer is great. Ultra Loop is just mind-blowing. So let me show you that real quick. To get this going, hit play in your sequencer, and what this does, it's kind of cool, is it's got 8 streams of loops playing simultaneously. And then the green boxes indicate what part of each of those loops is being used. So if I have these all in one, that's just that one loop. And I could go here to the loops and change this to be. And if you hit the sample button, you can see that what they've done is they've basically put a loop on every note across the keyboard and set it up and programmed it so that while it's playing that loop, you can go here and change what note it's playing, and it immediately re-triggers and starts playing whatever loop you've selected. So it's like 128 loops, right? So that's that loop. Now let's go to this loop, the second one. This has a chord to it. Okay, so we got that one, right? So let's have the first half be this top loop. And you have a new groove just from doing that, you know? But then once you start randomly clicking everywhere, or you go over here to the track sequencer and you start calling up actual sequences and programming so that you set it to pin. Say this one's gonna be this one. This one's gonna be this one. And 3 is gonna be polyphonic, where I want them all. You get it? It's crazy. And it gets crazier, so check this out. So let's go through some presets. We're really fast, let's say 100 and... As you can see, some of these it's randomly changing what loops are played per note. So that makes it randomly changing, right? Now you go over here to length, and here's your sliders. Now it's just 1. You can change what samples everything's using. And you can automate all this. So you can immediately create all this. I mean, if you're really into loops and manipulation like this, it's extremely powerful. I've created 2 other ensembles based on the libraries that they sell. This is the side bag, and this cat does like the drum and bass stuff. So you want to be up at 160 beats per minute for this. Hurry up and load. So again, twistedtools.com is where to go to check this stuff out. So it's got all those samples loaded. Let's say 170 beats per minute. That's about right. Now, if you go over here to filtering, you have all these other modes. If you go from left to the right, it's a high pass filter. This way it's low pass. Here's resonance. So you also have enveloping, so you can go to decay. Again, you can randomize this. We're on this page here. So each one of those loops can have different decay settings. So this one here has got full length. It's crazy. You can create just really, really cool loop stuff really easily. So for $69, it's really pretty much a no-brainer if you're into this kind of stuff. Let me show you one more thing real quick. The Dusty Fungus. This is like dirty hip hop, live loops, 110 beats per minute, so something like that. Click here. Here's all the presets that it comes with. Again, though, if you want, set them all to the top. Go over to loops. Now, there's all sorts of other stuff going on here, right? So, I don't know how to turn them off. I think you turn that off. There's other stuff. There's a lot of random stuff going on, so you'd have to go through all these different areas to see what's going on to set it up. It's just really fun to just... You can go crazy. So anyway, highly recommended Ultra Loop if you want something that really is doing something completely out there in a different spectrum with loops. And to put like a Mega Macho drum on top of this with its loop going on, let me tell you, it's just awesome. So we can... Yeah, man. Now you're talking. So, the tools, it's really important to have a whole variety of things. And things that like this, you go, I have no idea how to use that, and that sounds really weird. You put something like more normal on top of it, and all of a sudden it makes sense how you can use it. So don't be afraid of going out a little bit and then finding something to bring it back. Like a straight, just dubstep drum groove on top of this, some of the weird stuff you can get into with Reaktor. Oh boy, it's fun stuff. Okay. So I hope this helps you understand how to make SSF files, how to load the SSF files with the libraries I've created, how to change polyphony if you need to for saving DSP, how to check out the Bossomac free ensembles, and Ultra Loop and other really cool ensembles from twistedtools.com. So that's it for this free video, and enjoy. And I'm going to try to do another one next Thursday. So be on the lookout for it. See you later. Bye.